Hello everyone, thanks for watching my YouTube videos. In this video I'm gonna show you how to fill out Form I-130 Petition for Alien Relatives. So the first thing you need to do is go to Google, type in search bar, and here uscis.gov, click enter. The USCIS webpage popped up. Click on top of forms and go to Form I-130. Scroll down a little bit, right there we go. So scroll down, Form I-130 PDF format, open it. So Form I-130 PDF format opened. As you see in the top, say Petition for Alien Relative, USCIS Form I-130. Make sure to check out the expiration date. This form is expiring on February 28, 2021. Scroll down a little bit. In this box below here, say for USCIS use only, do not write anything here, and go to the next part. There's 4 boxes below here say to be completed by an attorney or credit representative on the top. So please do not write anything or do not fill anything here as well. If you do have an immigration attorney, your immigration attorney need to fill this box below. If you don't, please leave them blank. Scroll down a little bit. Your job start from here. On the top it says type or print in black ink. If you wanna type it in a computer, that is a good idea. But if you wanna fill it by handwriting, make sure to use a black pen and fill them clearly to do not face any problem in the future, or maybe the officers kind of deny your application. Try to write it clearly as much as possible. So in part 1 relationship, it says you are the petitioner, your relative is the beneficiary. If you are the US citizen, your spouse is a foreigner, or you are a foreigner and your husband is US citizen, so the US citizen is a petitioner, and like somebody who is gaining benefit is beneficiary. So in here I'm filling this petition for who do you want to fill out this petition for? I'm filling this petition for my spouse. If you want to fill it for your parents, if you want to do it for your brother and sister, or if you want to do the petition for your child. So since I'm doing it for my wife, I just click the box spouse. If I click this box, I do not need to type anything in item number 2 and number 3. But if you want to click the box, for example, if you're filling this petition for your child or parent, select the box that describes your relationship. So if you want to do it for your child or parent, these 2 boxes or one of them, so you need to choose the correct box from these 4 boxes below. So I do it for my wife. I do not need to type anything or do not need to click any box here. Item number 3 of the beneficiary is your brother and sister, so I leave it blank. Beneficiary is only my wife, my spouse here. Go to item number 4. Did you gain lawful permanent resident status or citizenship through adoption? So I born in US, therefore I'm clicking no. If you got your citizenship through adoption, click yes. Part 2 information about the petitioner continues. So an item number, an alien registration number. If you do have an A number, type it here. If you don't, leave it blank. If you do have a UCS account number, type it here. If you don't, leave it blank. For people who raise and burn in US, they don't have A number, so you shouldn't worry about. But for people who got their citizenship through naturalization, so they do have A number, so they need to type it here. In item number 3, use social security number. Type your US social security number here. And next part is say your full name. Start with your last name, first name, and middle name. For example, I type my last name Kohestani. My first name, for example, Latif. And my middle name Farhang, for example. Farhang. So, move on to the next part. In part 2, information about you, still information about the petitioner continues. So, other name used if any. If your name change or your last name change, or you have used another name except the name that you put in here, type it out there here. So if you don't use any other names since birth, just type none. Very easy. And go to the other part, other information. It says city, town of, village of birth. So type your village of birth or your city of birth, your country of birth, and your date of birth. And item number 9, your sex. I'm male. So in here, in next part, it says mailing address. And care of name, type your full name. For example, I type my name Latif Kohestani. And a street number. For example, put your street number here. Do you live in an apartment, a suite, or a floor? If you live in an apartment, type your apartment number back there. If you don't, if you live in a suite, put your suite number. If you live a floor, and like the floor, I don't think that has any number except the street number. So, and item number 10, city or town, a state. For example, my state is California. Enter. Oops. California. Enter. Zip code, for example, put your zip code 94541, for example. And province, postal code, and the country is USA. Is your current mailing address the same as your physical address? My current address is the same as physical address. I say yes. If you say no, please fill out these boxes here from number 11 to 12A. Here, number 11 was down there, and like 12A here. So and also in the top it says address history. So the address history, please provide your physical address for the last 5 years. Let's start with your physical address 1. So your mailing address is the same as your physical address, meaning your physical address 1 is already filled because your mailing address and physical address is the same. And what you need to do in this part is just type the date from that you've been living in here and the date that you are current. And here, like, since I don't have ability to type it in computer, you can type it or write it with your pen current. And in here, from what time to current you've been living in this address. So the same thing, your physical address 2 and 3 and 4, but you need to provide it for the last 5 years. If you've been living in one place for 5 years, or you've been living a couple of places in 5 years, you gotta provide it. If you needed additional page to write your physical address, go to the last page of Form I-130 and type the additional information there. And your marital information. And item number 16, how many times have you been married? I've been married only one time, which is with my current wife. And item number 17 say current marital status. My current marital status, I'm married. If you are divorced, or you got annulled, or you get separated, or you got divided, choose a proper box for yourself. So now I'm married with my wife. I click married box. So go to part 2, information about you, petitioner. Date of current marriage. When did you marry? Just type it here. Place of current marriage. Which city was it? What state? What province? Or what country? If you live in a country that doesn't have a state, so you just leave this one blank and put your province, what province, and type your country here. And next section is say names of all your spouses. Let's start with your first spouse, the one that you are currently married with. So last name, first name, middle name, and date of marriage ended. My marriage haven't ended. I am leaving this blank. I've been married only one time, so I put like spouse 1 information here. I left the rest of that blank. If you've been married several times or a couple of times, type all your spouse's information below. If you needed more information or more pages to put all your information, you gotta go to the last page of Form I-130 and type it there. So next section is say information about your parents. Start with your father or your mother. Which one do you prefer? Start with your father. Last name, first name, middle name. If it doesn't have middle name, leave it blank. The date of birth and the sex. My parents, for example, I put my father first. I say male. In item number 27, where my father birth and what city or town and what country. And part 2 is information about my mother. Type your mother last name, first name, middle name, date of birth, gender is female, for example, country of birth, city or town of residence, and country of residence. So type it then. In next section, say additional information about you, petitioner. I am a U.S. citizen. If you are a lawful permanent resident, click this box. If you are a U.S. citizen, click this box. So go to item number 37 and say if you are a U.S. citizen, complete item number 37. My citizenship was acquired through birth in United States, naturalization, parents. So my citizenship was acquired through birth in the United States. And if your citizenship acquired through naturalization, click here. If you're via your parents, click here, but mine was through birth in the United States. So in item number 38, have you obtained a certificate of naturalization or a certificate of citizenship? This is for people who obtain their citizenship through green card, who hold green card for a while and they got their citizenship through naturalization. This is for them. And I say no. If you click yes, type the certificate number, the place of issuance that issued your certificate number, and date of issuance. So mine is no, because I acquired my citizenship through birth in the United States. Go to part 2, information about you, petitioner. If you are a lawful permanent resident, complete item number 48, 41. So I'm not, I leave them blank. And next section is say employment history. Provide your employment history for the last 5 years. So you need to provide your employment history for the last 5 years to start with the most current one. So in here, the name of employer or company, street address, apartment, suite of floor, city or town, state, zip code, province, postal code, country, and your occupation, date you hired, and the date you fired or you end up. If you are still like working with them, just like put present here. So provided for the last 5 years. And employer 2, if you've been working for one employer for 5 years, or you've been working for a couple of employers, so you need to fill out those information. In part 3, say biographic information. Note, provide the biographic information about you and petitioner. You the petitioner. So in item number 1, about your ethnicity, I'm not Hispanic or Latino. If you are, click this box. Number 2, say race. Are you white, Asian, black, African American, American Indian, Alaska Native, Native Hawaiian, or other Pacific Islander? So I am white. And height, for example, I put 5 feet 7 inches, and my weight is 145 pounds. My eye color is black, for example. I go to part 3, biographic information, continued. And number 6 is say hair color. My hair color is black. Part 4, information about the beneficiary. Now your spouse information start from here. And item number 1, alien registration number for your spouse. For example, her alien registration is this, which is 9 number. She doesn't have online account number, and she has a US social security number like this. For example, beneficiary's full name is start with the last name, first name, middle name. Beneficiary haven't used another name since birth, so I put none. If yours use another name, type their last name, first name, and middle name here. And go to next section and other information about beneficiaries: city, town, village of birth, country of birth, date of birth. Her sex is female. And has anyone else ever filed for petition for the beneficiary? I say no. She been married 1 time, and I've been married 1 time. So we are married, currently married, and nobody helped her in the past. So let's go to next part, say beneficiary's physical address. So she lives the same address as I do. I put our physical address here. So other address and contact information. Provide the address in the United States where beneficiary intend to live, if different from number 11A to 11H. So in here, the beneficiary is living with me together, and I fill all these boxes like I did for my mailing address and my physical address. I do not need to type anything in these boxes here. So if your spouse is living in another place and you are living in another place, so you need to put their physical address or the place that they intend to live. Provide the beneficiary's address outside the United States if different from number 11. So if your spouse live outside the United States, type their physical address here. If she is inside the United States and she lives with you, escape these boxes and go to the next part. Part 4, information about beneficiary. Mobile telephone number, email address. Put their mobile telephone number and their email address. beneficiary marital information. How many times has the beneficiary been married? She been married only one time. Current marital status. She is married. And date of current marriage. What date was our current marriage happened? So this is, you gotta be very careful because some of the information repeated twice in this form. If you make a mistake and like you put date of marriage for yourself, other dates, or like you put like, I mean like the dates are different between you and your wife, so it's gonna be like inconsistency and the officer might deny your form. So you need to be very accurate and careful about what you fill in this form. So place of beneficiary's current marriage. So you gotta type the city or town that you guys been married, the state, province, country, and names of beneficiaries' spouses. So if any, provide information on beneficiary's current spouse. If currently married, first, and then list all other beneficiaries' prior spouses. So the beneficiary we have been married only once, and I put my information, and she need to put her information. For example, my information for her, my last name Kostani, Latif, middle name, and date of marriage ended none, and I leave it blank because we are married yet. So move on to the next part. Go to the next part all the way down to part 4, information about the beneficiary. And the part 4 is still person 4, she has been married only once. Person 5. So go to beneficiaries, enter information. Was the beneficiary ever in the United States? Yes, she been. If the beneficiary is currently in the United States, complete items number 46A through 46D. He or she arrived as a class of what? For example, she came with the K1 or fiance visa, for example, or she came with, for example, what? And here there's type of visa. Oops. Let's go back there. It's kind of so yeah, K1 fiance visa, like if she came with a diplomatic visa, A2 if she came with a student visa, or what type of visa she came to United States, you gotta put the class of admission. And Form I-94 arrival and departure record number, so you gotta type it here if you don't know how to get your I-94 arrival departure record number. So please go to my YouTube videos and watch my short videos how to get arrival departure record number. So the date of arrival and data tries to stay expired or UL as shown on Form I-94 or type print DS for duration of status. Some of like the diplomatic visa has D/S, means for duration of status. They doesn't have the expiration date of I-94 arrival departure. So you need to type, for example, if you can't type D/S, if it do not allow you to type anything without numbers, so you need to write it with your black pen. The passport number, you gotta type your passport number. Travel document number, if you don't have any travel document number, leave it blank. Enter official passport travel document number. For example, my country was Afghanistan. For example, my country was Afghanistan. And expiration date for passport travel document. So next section, beneficiaries employment information. Provide the beneficiary's current employment information. even if they are employed outside the United States. So type the beneficiary's current employment information. If she is employed, type it here, even if she is working outside the United States. You gotta like fill out this information. So additional information about beneficiary. Was the beneficiary even an immigration proceeding? An immigration proceeding means like maybe removal proceeding, any detention, or any sort of like that. So my wife was never in any immigration proceeding. She never been in that situation. If you've been in that situation, you gotta type it yes. For example, people come to United States with a student visa or some other visas. They stayed in here and they finally come up to get married with a US citizen. So their visa is expired and they want to just newly apply for petition. So and that is why like this question asking for, was the beneficiary ever in immigration proceeding? So mine is not. If you or your wife been in immigration proceeding, click yes and type it here. Removal, recession, judicial proceeding, exclusion, or deportation. You gotta type city or town, state, and date. So my wife never been in removal proceeding, so I click no, and this box automatically go blank. Part 4, information about beneficiaries. Continue. If the beneficiary native written language does not use Roman letters, type or print his or her name and foreign address in their native written language. If your wife or your husband is not a native English speaker, so you gotta fill out their information in their native language. For example, my native language is Persian, my wife is Persian. If your wife is Spanish and she don't know English, you gotta type in Spanish their information in these boxes here. Go to next section. Say filling for your spouse. Provide the last address at which you physically live together. If you never live together, type or print never live together in item number 59A. If filling for your spouse, provide the last address at which you physically live together. So the last address we've been living together is the physical address that I do right now. So that is the address I can like put for her because we are married. And if you married, you can put like your physical address here. If you never been living together and you just got engaged or whatsoever, just type never lived together only in item 59A. Go to the next section. Say the beneficiaries in the United States and will apply for adjustment of status to that of a lawful permanent resident at the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services Office. And so if the beneficiaries in the United States and will apply for adjustment of status, type the city or town, state. And for this part, you need to check out the Google or USCIS website. That what state are you living and what address you are sending your I-130, I-131, I-765, I-485. You gotta like check the correct address of the USCIS office that you're sending all your documents including I-485 or application for adjustment of status, and type the city or town that you are sending, a state. And in here, city or town, a state, and the top is say the beneficiary will not apply for adjustment of status in the United States, but he or she will apply for an immigrant visa abroad the US. So my wife is like already in US and she is like trying to get her green card documents wrapped up, so she is applying for I-485 adjustment of status inside the United States So we live in California and we send our, for example, our documents to USCIS, for example, Chicago logbox. Chicago logbox. This is where we send our documents, and the address is, for example, Chicago. You gotta like find out like Chicago logbox. Oops. Where it gone? Come on. Oops. It's killing me. So go to the next part. For example, Chicago or Illinois. There we go. So in here, the beneficiary is not outside of the United States, and I don't need to worry about that part. And part 5, information, other information. Item number 1, have you ever previously filled a petition for this beneficiary or any other alien? Filled a petition for this beneficiary or other alien? No, I haven't previously filled for anybody, and this is my first time I'm applying for my wife. And if you answer yes, you gotta like type the information here. I said like no. If you are also submitting separate petition for other relatives, provide the names and your relationship to each other. So mine is no, you just like type none here and let it leave the rest of that blank. Part 5 and other information, relative to. So I don't apply for anybody except my wife. I don't worry about anybody. And in here the last section says petitioner statement. Note, select the box for either item number 1A or 1B if applicable. Select the box for item number 2. In number 1, I can read and understand English, and I have read and understand every question and instruction on this petition and my answer to every question. So yes, this is the right box for me because I filled my own self. I can read and write English, so this is the correct box for me. And 1B, it says the interpreter named in part 7 read to me every question and instruction on this petition and answer to every question in a language in which I am fluent. I understand all of the information as interpreted. So for example, you don't know English, somebody help you interpreted all the form for you from English to your language. What is your language? For example, you are Spanish and you don't know English, somebody help you to fill out this English form for you. So type like English, like Spanish in that box. If you are a Persian and somebody help you translate English to Persian, so type Persian, your native language there. And item number 2, at my request, the interpreter name in part 8 prepared this petition for me based only upon the information I provided and authorize it. Type the name of like the interpreter or somebody who prepared for you here, and it's say part 8. Let's go part 8, see what is part 8. Part 8 is all the way below, down below here. Part 7, say part 8, contact information, declaration and signature of the person preparing this petition. So if somebody prepared for you this form, other than like interpreting or other than like you fill it yourself, so they gotta fill their information in part 8. So I already choose the box 1 in item number 1A. I go here, prepares contact information. I put my daytime telephone number, my mobile telephone number, and petitioner email address. I put my email address and I sign and date it. This is it. My job is done and this form is filled correctly. This was the end of Form I-130, Petition for Alien Relative. For more videos, please subscribe my channel and ring the bell.